Hi you guys, so I'm here with my test head Courtney, and I have a couple of products that I'm really excited to try. They're both from I Art Reborn in the UK, and we have I Art Dewy Skin, which I've actually used before and really love, and we also have I Art Matte Skin. I have not tried the matte skin, and I actually don't know anyone that has, so I'm super excited about trying this one. They are both heat set products. I believe McPherson's carries them as well. I'm so sorry. I have a little tater tot right here. The baking instructions are a little bit different. They're 130 degrees Celsius, which equals 266 degrees Fahrenheit. I usually, the ones that are at 130 Celsius, I usually just bake at 265 like normal, and they're always fine. But the bake time is 10 to 12 minutes, whereas a lot of other heat set products like Genesis are 7 to 9. So you just want to keep that in mind, that these need a little extra bake time. So we'll go ahead and do the dewy skin first. Like I said, I've used the dewy skin before and I really love it. So you want to mix it really well. And they do have directions on here. The instructions are basically to use a cosmetic wedge. I've also done it with a brush, and it works well with the brush as well. And with a brush, I can just demonstrate. But with the brush, I would use it for areas that I want a little bit dewy, like the eyelids here and corner of the eyes. So I'll just go ahead and do these on the eyelids, and then I will also do an area, let's do the cheek here so that you guys can see. So you just spread it on your cosmetic wedge like you normally would. This is just a torn cosmetic wedge. And you just go ahead and pounce it on. And this should leave a slightly dewy finish. It's not as shiny as a satin, but it's pretty close to a satin. All right, so that's good coverage. This whole cheek is the dewy skin. And then we'll go ahead and test the matte here. I know Exodus is out of stock. There's, you know, everybody is always on the search for good heat set matte varnishes. This one looks good so far. It is definitely more watery than like a Genesis. But it doesn't seem, oh, it's not sticky or anything. It actually seems really nice. It does look opaque in the jar, but it's not very opaque, in person. So, the instructions are, this one are the same. You put it on a cosmetic wedge and pounce it on. We'll just go ahead and do the forehead here. I'm able to get a little bit of texture with this. It is self-leveling a little bit already, which I'm assuming, you know, it's pretty thin, so that's kind of expected that you're not going to get great texture with a thinner product. But we're going to take a look when it's cured. I am going to do it thick on this side. And realistically, I probably would not do it this thick, but we just want to see how it cures. And this medium, you're not going to let it air dry at all. You bake immediately while it's still wet. So I'm going to go ahead and bake this and then show you the results after. All right, guys. So I went ahead and baked the head. I actually ended up baking this head twice because the first bake, it felt a little bit tacky still. So I just wanted to make sure it was fully cured. So this is after 2 bakes, and I baked for exactly 12 minutes. You can see where I did it crazy thick, like you would never normally do. It is very shiny, and it feels a tiny bit tacky, but not, I mean, it's cured. There's no cracking or anything. I definitely would not recommend putting it on like a crazy person that thick. Okay, so this was the normal thickness where I pounced it well. It is definitely like a nice soft matte. As I kind of assumed, because of the thickness level, it does not have a lot of texture. It feels amazing. Like, it feels like a soft touch varnish almost. So it's a nice soft matte. It feels nice. There's no cracking. I did want to go ahead, I have a rooting needle here, and just show you guys, if you're, you know, worried about not thinning it enough at the hairline or anything, it's not cracking with rooting. This thick one isn't cracking either. So, I mean, crack-wise, it's great. And, you know, for movement and everything, it definitely passes those tests. Here we have the dewy skin. You can tell it definitely has a lot of sheen to it, which it's supposed to. I really love it on the eyes and stuff. I don't know if you can really see, but we got some really nice little texture there. It feels very, very nice. It almost has, I don't really know how to describe it. I want to say kind of a rubbery feel, but it is not sticky. But it definitely does not feel rough at all. And it has really amazing, amazing texture. I really wish that they would make this dewy skin medium matte, because the texture on it is amazing. This would be the most amazing matte. If it had this texture too, it'd be freaking fantastic. But their matte is nice. It feels nice. It's a great soft matte, or semi-matte. Is, I don't know, that they don't say that on the jar. It just says matte, but the finish is definitely a semi-matte finish. Overall, I like it. I think it feels nice. It has a nice finish. The dewy skin is great for areas like eyelids, lips, in the corner of the upper corner of the ear, areas that you want a little bit more sheen to. It just has a very nice finish. And I did want to play around a little bit, so I did, and I'll show you those results now. I just wanted to see if I could get it a little bit more matte. So what I want to do is I just want to test this with Reborn FX matting powder. So they have basic instructions on the back, or the product comes with full instructions also. But it's basically 1 part powder to 2 parts distilled water if you're doing it for air dry. You can do it for heat set, and it's basically equal parts of matting powder and thinning medium. So I'm gonna go ahead and we'll just put about that much in here. And I'm just going to use my Exodus thinning oil. Just going to put a few drops in there. And you just want to mix it until it's there's no grains or anything. It is a kind of gray color. It does not stay gray like that. It, you know, it cures clear. And I'm just going to take some of this I Art matte. They have an actual instruction to do this. It is, 1.5 tablespoons to 1 teaspoon of this, to 1/2 teaspoon of this paint mix. Obviously this is way less than half a teaspoon, and I'm not going to use 1.5 tablespoons of this varnish. So I'm just gonna go ahead, we'll put some varnish in here and mix it up really well. And take a cosmetic wedge and I'm actually just gonna kind of do this. This is another test head that I have that I stored next to my pens. You could tell it's definitely a lot more watered down now. But we're just gonna do the entire forehead there and go ahead and bake this and see the results from it. So I got this Lola test head out of the oven here. This is the forehead that I matted. It definitely is a nice ultra matte. It does not feel rough at all. It feels very, very nice. There is no cracking or anything. I might experiment with the levels of, and no pock marks. I might experiment a little bit with the levels of this matting powder that I put in there. Maybe mix a larger batch with the actual correct amounts. But it does seem like if you want to use the Reborn FX powder with the matte skin, just to, if you like a more ultra matte finish, it does work well. It does definitely matte it. You know, with how much we thinned it with the thinning oil and stuff, there's no texture. It's a very smooth finish. I know some people do like that. So overall though, my thoughts are, you know, with my little experiment with this, it went great. I might actually do this with the matting powder if I want a more matte finish. But I think it has on its own, it has a really great finish. It's durable, it holds up, it's not, you know, there's no scratch marks or pock marks. It feels very soft, very nice, no sandpaper feeling, and the dewy skin is fantastic. So overall, I'm really impressed, and I would definitely recommend either one of these products. The links on where you can buy them are in the description. I hope that was helpful. If you guys have any questions, definitely let me know and I'll do my best to answer them. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next one.